The next time when something happens that looks like, feels like the last difficult season,
it's a trigger.
It's a trigger.
Yep.
And it's going to cause something to rise back up in you. And all of a sudden, you thought you were past it.
Right.
But what you discover is that you're still processing it. And so we have a lot of people who are still in process of pain. We want to share with you all what to do when your marriage is in a transition. Okay. Now, most of y'all know who follow our page that we just co-authored a book called Marriage in Transition. And I just want to let y'all know, man, uncontrollable change happens to us all.
It will come.
And the challenge for us in our marriage, after 22 years, we realized that we really weren't coached on what to do when you have this season of the crazy that just kind of hits your home and it shatters just kind of your normal. And what we realized was that because of the fact that we weren't prepared for those seasons and we didn't know how to navigate those seasons of uncontrollable change, that basically if you don't heal after those difficult seasons, the unresolved trauma of those painful moments will echo into your future. I'll say that again. If you're not healed from the pain resulting from one of those traumatic seasons, that trauma will echo its way into your future. And so what we had happening over and over again in our relationship was that a new season had come. We came out of the darkness of the deep, struggle that we were in, whatever that transition was. Some of it was good. It was promotion. It was a new baby. It was, a new city. It was all kind of new, great things. But even in that, whenever you grow, something changes, right? And as we were growing, sometimes because of our success or sometimes because of our struggle, we were beginning to grow apart. And when we grew apart, we would see a dynamic within one another that we may not have liked in that season. Let's just say, for instance, a new child comes in the picture. On my end, I'm just kind of wanting my wife like regular, you know what I'm saying? Everything is like normal. And she may be going through like postpartum depression or something like that.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right.
After having a child. So she changes. And I see something in her and I'm just kind of like, who you are right now. I don't get you. I don't understand what's happening. And then on my end, she's kind of looking at me like, dude, will you help out a little bit more? Carry this, hold that, catch this, and give me some more support. And so we would be in a situation where we desperately needed to have empathy for one another, but we were kind of in our feelings in our own world because we were processing the change that we were going through.
And even though it was great change, usually every time there's a transition or a change that takes place in your life, you have a new normal. Yeah. But you're operating out of your old normal. And so you need to, or couples need to discover their new norm right now. Yeah. Like, what does life, or what should life look like right now? Right now. Now that you've gone through this transition, now that you have this baby, or now that you have this promotion, or now that you've had this surgery and your body is not the same, how do you live life to the fullest in spite of the transition? Now, the crazy thing was, we began to write this book like 4 years ago. This is when the idea first hit us. We had no clue that 2020 was coming. But talk about uncontrollable change. And we're still uncontrollable change. And the crazy thing is, we're still living out the effects of that change. We're still a nation, a world in transition. And yet people still haven't adjusted to what all has gone on. Some people want to move on and get past masks. Other people are like, yo, mask saves lives. And so you have this clash of people who want to be free of it and move on. And you got some who like, no, we're still in the thick of it. And you have good people who love one another in the same home that's just like, mask, no mask, mask, no mask. You know what I mean? Shot, no shots. Stay at home, go outside. And you have this clash of desires. And you're like, I can't believe you see it like that. Yeah. You're like, I don't get how you don't understand that this is a real pandemic, right? So you got like, and that's in one home, plus the kids,
plus the bills are due, plus some people were furloughed, plus some people, are struggling to make ends meet. And you got all that going on and you trying to maintain a marriage.
Yeah.
Right? This is why we wrote the book. Because it's not just about surviving this season, yes, but it's about getting healed of the trauma from the season. Because I can guarantee you this, you might get through this season and everything may feel like it goes back to normal, but something in you has fundamentally changed in your perspective of how you see your spouse and how you see yourself, how you think about God, how you think about society. And if you aren't healthy and if you guys don't understand one another on a deeper level, the next time when something happens that looks like, feels like the last difficult season,
it's a trigger.
It's a trigger.
Yep.
And it's going to cause something to rise back up in you. And all of a sudden you thought you were past it.
Right.
But what you discover is that you're still processing it. And so we have a lot of people who are still in process of pain and they're moving on. And even though they've moved on, they aren't healthy.
Yeah.
And we need to actually get healed of the pain and we need to process some of the things that have gone on in our lives so that we can say, you know what? Dude, not this time. You're not about to take my marriage. You're not going to have my home. Y'all not going to take my finance. No, devil. No darkness.
Not today.
No unhealthy emotions. Not today. And so you guys get to a point where you say, you know what can help us through our seasons of difficulty? And then now we get to at a certain point in the book, because we ain't sharing with you all the details. You got to get the book. But one of the things that we really talk about is having a picture of a future, a picture of an expected end, a picture of a hope for where you guys are headed and what you are fighting for. And that is so important. When you're going through difficult seasons and it feels like your marriage is on edge or you're going through tension, again, whether it be because now all of a sudden you got promotions and you got success, but you all see each other less, right, and the hours that you have together are not as connected because you're just tired all the time, or it may be because of a sickness that's affecting you guys fundamentally, is changing things sexually, and you're trying to figure out how to still feel connected through that difficult time. Let me tell you something, what holds you together is a dream. It's a picture of a vision of the future. And you have to remember your why and what you guys are fighting for.
Well, see, that picture, it'll recenter you. It'll refocus you. It'll actually ground you. When one person is really going through the struggle, and maybe one is feeling it greater than the other, that's when the other person that may be a little stronger or may have a little bit of glimpse or a little bit of hope, that's where they encourage their spouse with that vision, with that hope, with that goal. And that becomes an armor. That becomes a tool that you can pull out and you can say, hey, baby, remember there was a phrase that we had a long time ago. It was, our now does not exist in our future. And we really held on to that. And that was probably our phrase for about a good year. I mean, because
it switched to something good is about to happen.
Yeah, and that led to a whole album.
I wrote a song about it. Yeah. Literally. Something good is about to happen. Look it up on iTunes right now.
So we're not telling you anything that we haven't been through or even things that, we're not going through right now. Like we're using these same tools. And so we are living witness that it can happen. Yeah.
So what we encourage you guys to do, for real, we got a lot of people who follow us. We thank God for every follower right now. When I tell you we put our heart and soul into this book, Marriage in Transition, I'm not kidding. It's one of the best things that we've ever put our hands to. We really believe it was something that God spoke to us to give to everyone who would receive it. So you can get it on Audible. You can get it on Amazon. You can get it on Kindle. However you want to get it, just make sure you get it. All right. Make sure
I don't care how you get it.
I knew it was coming. All right. So like, subscribe, share. God bless y'all.